There are massive rock formations here that have been standing for thousands of years but never fall down. There are even places where the entire landscape is filled with layers of stone, as if they come from another world. Do you think you've seen all the strange and miraculous things on this earth? Just think about it once. In today's video, Alpha Mind Bangla invites you to witness 15 of the most extraordinary rock formations on Earth, where nature becomes the greatest artist, one who not only creates breathtaking shapes, but also writes stories beyond the limits of imagination. Get ready, because you won't be able to take your eyes off what you're about to see. But before we begin, among those of you who watch my videos regularly, there are also people who watch and leave without even hitting a single like, let alone subscribing. If you enjoy the videos on my channel and want to see more like this, please make sure to subscribe to the channel. And if you enjoy the video, please give it a like. Let's get started with today's video. The Lena Pillars are such a miraculous natural phenomenon that they feel like a gateway into a mythical world made of stone. According to geologists, the origin of these formations dates back to the early Cambrian period. That is, more than 540 million years ago, when life on Earth had just begun to develop in the primitive oceans made of limestone, dolomite, and shale. Over millions of years, the combined force of wind, snowfall, and melting glacial water carved these rocks vertically, resulting in stone pillars 100 to 300 meters high. In winter, these peaks covered in a blanket of ice, combined with the soft shadow of the pale Arctic sun, make the scene almost otherworldly, as if the entire region has turned into a frozen cathedral of stone and silence. And in summer, under the northern light, these peaks glow in golden and amber hues, like a living painting that seems to have been born from eternity. Recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 2012, the Lena Pillars are not just a geological feature. They are a vast library of the Earth's ancient life, preserving the fossils of primitive creatures that once swam in ancient seas. This is a place where time itself is carved into stone, and for those who dare to travel this far, that history waits to be read. The White Desert, an unreal world of white stone located in the heart of Egypt. Located about 500 kilometers southwest of Cairo, the White Desert was once the bottom of an ancient sea, rich in limestone and marine deposits. Over time, as the water receded and the climate became dry, the wind and sand began their work, carving the limestone into strange, miraculous shapes. Some shapes look like giant mushrooms, while others look like chickens and rabbits, or even cauliflowers, frozen within the stone. In daylight, this landscape glows with a bright white radiance, and at sunset these shapes light up in shades of pink, orange, and gold. Many travelers love to spend the night among these stone sculptures, where the scene becomes so dreamlike under the moonlight that it feels as if you are sleeping on the surface of the moon. Today, the White Desert is a protected national park, valued not only for its geological significance, but as one of the world's most wondrous places to see natural creativity in its purest, most untouched form. Halong Bay, nature's living watercolor painting. Located on the northeastern coast of Vietnam, Halong Bay is like a breathtaking watercolor artwork, where ancient limestone rocks rise from the emerald green water, scattered across the entire bay, as if a mythical dragon were winding its way across the sea. Here there are more than 1,600 islands and islets, each shaped by whim. Some look like turtles, some like a lion's head, others like the sail of a boat or a sleeping giant creature. According to geologists, Halong Bay was formed over more than 20 to 80 million years, through tectonic shifts and long-term erosion as rain, wind, and the sea gradually eroded the ancient limestone to create these massive rock islands. Inside the islands are mysterious caves and hidden lagoons. But beyond its natural beauty, Halong Bay is also an important source of ancient Vietnamese culture, where archaeological evidence of human settlements thousands of years old has been found. And if you ever silently float on the waters of this fog-covered bay at sunrise, you'll understand why UNESCO declared it a World Natural Heritage Site. It is not just something to see. It is an experience felt through every sense. Alula, the ancient stone city of the Arabian Desert. In the dry northwestern desert heart of Saudi Arabia, Alula stands tall like an entire world of its own, a miraculous landscape of massive rock formations carved by the hand of time, surrounded by the ruins of ancient civilizations that once thrived in this harsh terrain. Geologically, Alula's history is more than 500 million years old. Here, mainly, there are sandstone hills and massive standalone rock formations carved by wind and sand erosion into arches, pillars, and stunningly shaped towering rocks. One of the most famous sites here is Elephant Rock, a massive rock that looks like an elephant bowing its head under the desert sky. But Alula is not just a natural feature. It is also home to the ruins of the Nabatean Empire, a kingdom contemporary with Petra and Jordan. Dozens of tombs carved directly into the rock, ancient inscriptions, and traces of the old incense trade routes remain astonishingly intact today, as if stories more than 2,000 years old are still whispering on. Today, Alula has become a major heritage and ecotourism destination, where visitors can hike through red sandstone valleys, enjoy a starry night under the clear desert sky, and witness a rare harmony between eternal nature and ancient human creation. Druid Arch, on the hills of Yak City, a stone table of time. In the middle of the green-covered hills of western Yak City stands a mysterious assembly of massive sandstone blocks, arranged one on top of another, as if forming a giant ancient altar. This is Druid Arch, a place that, upon seeing it, makes it feel as if time has completely stopped, compelling visitors to wonder what stories these stones would tell if they could speak. In fact, the name comes from folklore. People once believed this was a sacred place where ancient Celtic druids performed nature-related rituals and sacrifices, although there is no archaeological evidence to support these stories. Still, the astonishing shape of this formation and its isolated location have given birth to such legends generation after generation. Geologically, these rocks are part of the Millstone Green Formation, which formed about 300 million years ago, when Yak City was once a vast coastal plain. Over centuries, erosion and weathering carved a massive sandstone into sharp-edged giant blocks, creating a formation that astonishingly resembles a man-made altar, even though it is entirely shaped by nature. Today, Druid Arch is not just a legendary place. It is also a favorite destination for hikers, photographers, and nature lovers. Sitting atop these rocks and looking down at the sprawling valley below, one could easily feel as if they have passed through the flow of time, as if the earth itself is holding its breath, waiting for the next part of its story to be revealed. White Pocket, a whirling sphere of rock risen from another planet, hidden in the remote desert of the Vermilion Cliffs National Monument. White Pocket is like a dream carved into stone. Painted in white, red, pink, and orange, this landscape is filled with swirling patterns and burning waves of color, like an unreal dream painted on rock. Standing there, it feels as if you have arrived on another planet. White Pocket was formed from ancient Navajo sandstone, deposited about 190 million years ago, when this region was once covered by vast sand dunes. Over millions of years, geological forces compressed, twisted, and folded these layers into stone. Then wind, rain, desert heat, and sun gradually eroded the upper layers, revealing the extraordinary carved pattern seen today. Unlike the nearby The Wave, White Pocket requires no permit to visit, but the place is so remote that it can only be reached by a high ground clearance four-wheel drive vehicle. This isolation has protected its untouched beauty from crowds. At sunrise or sunset, when light dances across these swirling rock lines, White Pocket becomes a dream for photographers, with every angle revealing a masterpiece shaped by nature's own hand, both surreal and astonishingly real at the same time. Isn't that unbelievable? Every wave and every layer in White Pocket's rocks seems to tell the story of the Earth's restless motion over millions of years. Standing in this otherworldly landscape, you might truly feel as if you've arrived on another planet. But don't look away yet, because what comes next will astonish you even more. So watch the video till the end. Mono Lake, towers of stone in an eternally mysterious salt lake. At the edge of California's dry-hide desert, an unreal scene catches the eye. A massive salt lake, from whose bosom rise giant limestone formations, as if the ruins of a sunken city have risen through the water. This is Mono Lake, one of the oldest lakes in North America, where time and chemistry have created a landscape that is hard to believe. Formed after a massive volcanic eruption about 760,000 years ago, Mono Lake has no outlet. Water here leaves only through evaporation. As a result, this lake's salinity is 3 times greater than that of the ocean. But its strangest feature is the tufa towers. Limestone spires form when calcium-rich underground spring water mixed with the carbonate-rich lake water. This chemical reaction produces calcium carbonate or limestone, which gradually builds up underwater into tower-like formations. In the 1940s, when this lake's water was diverted to supply Los Angeles, the lake's water level dropped, and along with it, the towers hidden underwater were completely exposed. Some of these towers stand more than 30 feet tall, and their twisted shapes make them look like natural sculptures from another world. Yet, despite this extreme environment, Mono Lake is home to a rich ecosystem, where millions of migratory birds arrive, and tiny brine shrimp and alkali flies survive in the salty water, where normally no creature would be expected to survive. Bryce Canyon, a cathedral of stone carved by nature's own hand. Despite having canyon in its name, Bryce Canyon is not actually a true canyon. It is the eroded edge of a massive plateau, where nature has carved thousands of towering rock spires, called hoodoos, creating a scene that looks like a massive cathedral built of red stone. These geological formations were created 30 to 60 million years ago from deposited sandstone and clay layers. Later, as the Colorado Plateau rose, this region rose along with it. While most canyons form through the erosion of flowing water, Bryce formed through a freeze erosion process, where water seeps into cracks in the rock and freezes, then expands, gradually breaking the rock apart, a process that continues for more than 200 days a year. This has resulted in an unreal forest of stone, where no hoodoo is alike.